Welcome to the show. Something more than gibberish. Happy Friday to those of you in the US, and happy Saturday to those in my part of the world down in Australia. Hope your weekend is off to a good start. Today I'm featuring a dear friend and an amazing poetess who's actually in my locality, 20 minutes up the road from me, Angela Sam. She has featured on the show before, but since then she's released her first book, and soon in July, I believe, she's got her second book due out. Now, I am hoping that Angela can make it. She has been going through a bit of a personal crisis, and nearly dropped my phone. And I appreciate her still taking the time to join the show. So, yeah, Angela's in the room, so I'll bring her up and we can get this show on the road. That's if I don't try to drop my phone off the hook again. Saturday the 22nd of March for me, and Friday the 21st of March for those in the US. Hello, Angela.
Hello.
So good to see
you. I don't know what's going on. I cannot see people when they're live. It's weird. I couldn't see you, so I had to search for you, and then I could see that you were live.
That happened to me as well. And now, you know how they used to always come on the left corner?
Mm-hmm.
Now they're towards the anywhere. So I've got to go scrolling through people's reels and stories and whatever else, and then suddenly you'll see a live there. So there you go.
So I was here, I was ready, and I'm like waiting and I couldn't see it. That's why I typed it. I'm here. It's like in your message, but anyway, it is what it is.
This is so cool. Like now, we meet pretty much every week at live attendances
I love
in person.
It.
And now to be speaking to you online again, it just feels so weird.
It's weird. I know, and I've met some incredible. You've introduced me to some incredible poets in the poetry community here in Melbourne, and I love it. I love the opportunity. We go to different venues, and it's been great. It's it saved me. Poetry saved me. Saved me through the COVID, and it's saving me now. So I was gonna do it whether or not. Anyway, because he was one of my greatest supporters. So
Angela,
I wasn't gonna do it without him. Yeah.
I really do appreciate you and admire your strength and your commitment to yourself. For agreeing to do the show, given your recent loss. Very recent, 2 days ago. So that's as recent as it gets, and I know the turmoil that goes with that. So I really admire your strength and your commitment for being here. But at any time you feel it's too much, we can just divert the conversation or end the show. And redo it some other time. So most grateful to you.
Yeah.
The next Wednesday, I'm going to introduce you to another whole crowd at. That's if you can make it. Otherwise, following.
No, I'm going to do it. And I was even thinking of deferring my course, and I've just went, no, I've got to do it. I'm going to do it for him. So I'm just getting everything extended, getting extra time, because I know that's what he'd want me to do. So and if everyone's wondering, I'm going to hear my baby brother. So my younger brother, I lost him a few days ago, and it's really hard on the family. I sort of don't want to say. I didn't want to say a lot because there's still one other person still doesn't know, and I'm hoping she doesn't say because she's an Instagram girl. So we just finally told his daughter yesterday. So because we wanted to say it to her eye to eye, and she, you know, had school and stuff. So yeah, and you know, there's always things we're trying to get around.
Yeah.
People trying to putting up things in social media when I'm like, say, don't. What are you doing? We haven't even done that. With these people that don't know, that we want to tell in person.
Yeah.
So we're taking all this stuff down. Like, just take it down.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Anyway.
Now, also, before I forget,
Mm.
I hope you're free on the 30th of April, because there's another event that started up. I went purely last Thursday. I went as a guest. Just I did not read, I was just in the audience. And what a night it was. It's the Slam-A-Lama Ding Dong crew that they run about 6 events where there's a competition, and then the finalists have gone to the US and competed, like in Chicago and so forth. They've restarted back up. And I've got to take you to that. It was an amazing night. Like, I met so many new poets that I had not even met before, and the level of competition was good. And I actually went to see a featured guest who I hope to be having on this show soon.
Okay.
She, Denise Chapman. She originally is from Virginia, but she's actually lives here down Cranbourne Way, and works at Monash in children's literature education. It's an amazing soul, and she was the featured guest at the Slam-A-Lama show, and I went to mainly see her, but I was entertained. Honestly, I sat in the audience and just enjoyed my night. Best $20 I ever spent.
Right. Then I'm there. There.
30th of April. You're in for a treat. But next Wednesday, if you're all good and with everything going on, take you to Creative Musings at Creatures of Habit Bar. You're going to love it. You really are. So, I know it's kind of old news, but congratulations on finally getting out your first book. And I know the second one is following hot on its heels. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Geez, you've got some big powered people here coming to witness, to watch the show as well. We got LG, we got Todd. My goodness, I saw Miss Rosie Love. This really reflects how much you are valued and treasured within the community, Angela. You do so much, and I really take my hat off to people who donate their time. And I know you've got family commitments, work commitments, study, everything like that. You still take time out, like LG does, to read DMs, to read other people's work, not even hosting lives, as in for open mics as such. You donate your time purely to showcase other people's work. And that is why it is my absolute honor to have you on this show for a second time, to give you the opportunity to share you and your work and all that you do and all that you've got coming up on a global platform. So it really is an honor to offer this time to somebody who is so selfless within the community and gives so much. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, selfless? I think is a little bit selfish of me, because you know what? No, it's okay to be selfish. You know, it's not a negative. It's not always a negative connotation. I love poetry. I truly, truly love it. I'm not in it to get likes. I'm not in it to it's not the whole capacity. You know, that some people go into it for different reasons. If I can make a difference for one person, that's all that matters to me. That's why I do it. And it's cathartic for me. I won't be doing those for a little bit, because I don't know. This is one thing, actually sitting there and reading people's DMs, I don't want to do injustice to their poetry while I'm falling apart. And I've just had to take that time apart. That's where I've become in that way I need to be selfish for that reason. It's cathartic. I love it.
To me, it's a very fine line between being selfish and self-love. Like, you have just lost somebody very close, a sibling. You can't get any closer than that other than a parent. Right? You've just lost that. So taking time for yourself to heal, to grieve, to overcome that's self-love. But selfishness to me is when I'm doing it just to promote my own self, my own needs, my own desires. To me, that is, and it's a very fine line. Right?
Okay.
And taking that time for you, believe me, nobody will. And if anyone should discredit you for that, they deserve to be shot. And I'll put trigger.
Right? Yeah. Look, I need to put that energy into a happy World Poetry Day. Oh, see, that's another reason. I need to put that energy that I give to poetry. Not that I'm stopping writing, because I need to do all these collabs. I need to finalise all these collabs to my family. Because there's only so much energy you can actually excel without collapsing. Who did something to Angela? Oh, Danny, you don't know, because I've been writing collabs with him. He's not aware. My brother passed away, Danny. So
just 2 days ago, Danny. So as I said at the start of the show, I admire Angela's commitment and strength to still go ahead with the show. I was quite happy to cancel, but that speaks about this lady's commitment to this platform.
And he's one of the ones who's been saving me, because we've been writing back and forth, putting together a second collab for the next book. So, no, you've been saving me, so don't worry. I know you, but he's been one of the ones that I've been writing back and forth for. So,
normally I've got a regular audience that comes like Tom Thorough and all that, who will be featuring very soon on the show. TM and all that have our regulars here, but so many other faces coming in today who are very prominent within the community. I saw Deep Thought in the group. Thank you, Deep Thought. Danny said LG. My goodness, the names that are coming in the room. It's all a reflection of how much you are valued within the community. Otherwise, look, I'm sure the people in the US have got a lot better things to do than to watch a couple of Aussies carrying on a show, on Instagram.
Don't call LG US.
Oh, look,
Canadian.
that part of the world, you know what I mean?
North America.
They're just a better version of the X, right? Okay, a refined version. Let's put it that way. LG, sorry, Todd Bell. Todd crosses the line on both sides. So
yes. Let me know. I was going to say something. I thought, no, it's to be naughty, Angela.
Yeah. So, and that reminds me, you mentioned you've been writing some collabs with Danny, but you've also been writing collabs with so many people that your next book is full of collaborations. And I think when I saw you last week, you mentioned there was about 20, 30, 40 people that you've written collabs with that are going in this book. I want to talk about.
Look, it's going to be the second and fourth book. They're all collabs. And a lot of people don't do collaborations, and that's on them. I think for me, it's that's just my nature. It's getting to know people, and really being inspired by other poets. So I do a lot of collabs. I love it. I absolutely love to see sometimes where things go, and you can, and at the same time becoming friends with people via the collabs, creating the collabs, getting to know who they are. So yeah, you know, and some of them I do collabs more than others, and I've had to sort of go, okay, I've done about 8 with you, but I can only put 2, so I'll move those along, some of those into the next, and it's not because any is better than the other. Particularly, there's, you know, the spider, and I'm the mistress, the dungeoness, actually, the dungeoness, the incredible liquid lizard. We've done a number, and the beautiful soul that is PPP. We've done quite a number, and there are some that are not included. That's fine, because again, it's their choice. I've given it, said, is it okay? And some have said no, but that's, you know, that's their prerogative, because it is their words, and sometimes, you know, is it pulling it down when it's on Instagram rather than having it forever published. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Danny's even offering even more collabs with you there, and LG's sort of saying she's only been collaborating with Todd, but I think that collaboration has gone to another level now. the So spider, you're the spider,
No, he's liquid is spider with so SPYD3R. That's his serial killer tag, and I'm the dungeoness. That's the female serial killer. But we don't kill anyone. We kill only the baddies, bad people, baddies.
the Dungeness. Now, am I safe on a Wednesday or Thursday going to open mics with you and sitting right next to you there? Am I safe with the Dungeness? If you don't see me, folks, that means I was victim to Dungeness. Thank God the spider is in the other continent. Now, that's another whole basket case there. He is such a lovely guy and so interesting. I really do love that collab posted with Liquid, by the way. That was amazing. That was something that, like, out of a little mini TV series or a horror movie. The quality of that production, I'll never forget that. That was stunning. That really was.
Yeah. So we do a lot of that. So Cyril, so I'm his protege. So he's my mentor.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that just developed. He wasn't expecting, like, it's something that developed from the beginning, from our first collab, which I've included on purpose, the first collab that we ever did, because I think he was expecting me sort of to carry on and just continue on, but in fact, I actually deflected on him, and I said I became a different character, and I went at him. And he was like, "That's not what I was expecting," and I said, "That's Angela. Like, you think you can get one thing from me, but you you don't know what you're going to expect to get from me. Not always bad. Yeah, my husband calls me a cyclone, a tornado. 1 minute everything's destroyed, and the next minute the sun comes out." So, it's just how it is. Culturally, Greeks, we are very passionate human beings. So beware.
Well, after meeting Chris as well, I can see why he would think you're the tornado. I've got to get out and watch Chris when he's playing his music at a band too. You got to let me know.
He's playing this Saturday. It was one of the things we discussed, because he was like, I don't know whether I should be doing this gig. And I went, you know what? And he'd be there. He's going to be there. So don't. Life goes on. That's how it is, and I'm taking that perspective that life does go on. And emotionally, we'll all go through the roller coaster. It'll be one day this, one day that. Like yesterday, I haven't touched KFC because I can't Anyway, but last night we all got together and we ate KFC because that was one of his favourite takeaway meals, and we sat there, and it was just so bizarre that the door. It was living with my parents were at my parents' place, and the door shut. That's not bizarre. The fact that he never came out, that was the hard thing, because he'd come out, he'd eat, he'd ruffle a few feathers, and then he'd go back into his room. And that was him. He was unapologetically him. So, you got what you got.
So when you say Chris is playing this Saturday, you mean tonight?
Today's Saturday. Yes, it is tonight. He's playing tonight.
Where is he playing? Because,
goodness gracious, let me have a look.
Because that would be perfect for me, because tomorrow there's some pennant comps on, so I don't have golf in the morning, so I can go out tonight and and I got nothing on, so I can go out and have a party tonight. I don't have to wake up at the crack of dawn to go and chase a golf ball around the paddock. So yeah.
Okay, our next gig. All right, here it goes. Hang on, let me just have a look. I've just had a quick look. No, that's not it. Oh,
you can
smell of people.
later after the show.
Yeah, I'll do that. I think I'm not quite sure where it is. It's at the gasometer. He's yelling at. He's at the gasometer tonight.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's just. Yeah,
what time will the door open? It's there on after 9.
Perfect. I might be able to even catch a tram down and hit the piss and catch an Uber back. Gasometer tram line, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful.
Awesome. All right. Now, shall we get into some of your
poetry?
You want to upcoming book?
Book that's I would. I've got one. And this was the one I wrote at 4:30 in the morning after coming back from my parents. He died at 12:25 in the morning. With my dad holding his hand and me being by his side as well. And then we stayed for a few hours and then went back to my parents, and I amazed my parents that I was able to get coffee at 3:30 in the morning from McDonald's. What? They deliver coffee? And then I went home, and I think I didn't sleep at all until again 10:30 last night. So. But during that, when I got home after leaving my parents, that just after, I wrote this poem, and then Sarah, the beautiful Sarah, Immortal Ink, replied to it. So she wrote something. It's called Farewell Chaos. You became the most imperfect storm. No one knew what to expect from one day to the next, but I still remember what it was like to be shaded by your shadow, the enigma of your marrow. I don't know what broke that happy child, what took the light from your eyes, and now I will never know why calm turned to wild, what notes strummed the melancholic tempo in the symphony of your eyes, why chaos was your spirit animal, why destruction became your only defense. Why did hurting others bring justice to your scars? And in the end, I didn't know you anymore. But I persevered to see the smile on your face, even if it brought about my pain, to see the sun skim across your heart and under the full moon of March's rain. Now, my brother, it's your turn to go through the ethereal doorway. Hush now. Let go of all that ails the piercing pain, as all your fears will evaporate like a November mist. The hour has come, for in the world we were always just fleeting passengers, navigating tormented waters without a compass, fragmented stars leading us in opposite directions, tumultuous storm clouds covering the way, but the gloom has vaporized and the North Star is beckoning you home. I'm here, feel my tranquil presence as you close your eyes. Let the warmth of childhood joy rush through your memories. Hear my voice as your soul takes its final flight. Patiently, I will wait for a cardinal to rest upon my shoulder, signaling that you finally found your light.
That's beautiful, Angela. It really is beautiful, very heartfelt, and it really reflects the love that you could see two siblings share. And the very starting line, you became the most imperfect. You were the most imperfect storm. I could really relate to that too, because I was deep in my own family, and I can see my own sister saying that about me. But yet, in time of crisis, they turned to me, and yet I was the black sheep of the family. I was the one always in trouble and always, on the run and just crazy shit. So I can so relate to that in many ways. As you were reading that, I pictured my sister reading that to me about a relationship. So what I'm trying to get at is you really captured in most healthy relationships between siblings.
But no, it was far from healthy.
Yeah. No, but the relationship between
we were two people. We were very much alike. So that's where we butted heads quite a bit. But when it came down to support and being there for me, it was a given. And the months leading up to him leaving, it just seemed like you were getting the old him back. And that week before he died, the relation, my parents were saying they just he did things that it'd been such a long time. And they always seem happy, and I just, in my head I'm thinking his soul was coming to terms. He knew, and so it was him just giving back some really beautiful memory that my parents can hold on to.
And also, I've got to say my sincere condolences to you as well. Because to me, one of the biggest injustices, being a parent myself, one of the biggest injustices that life can throw our way is for a parent to have to bury their child. They are the generation, and that is the biggest wrong to me. I know that would be, I hope I never have to ever face, because that really is tough, and my heart goes out to your folks. And it's bad enough for siblings, but to your parents. Would you be reading that piece at the service, or are you planning to? I think you should. If you.
It's a Greek service, so all Greek Orthodox don't do that kind of stuff. It's all priest, but I plan to read it to my siblings, because we're not going to have the general wake where everyone, we're all going to siblings and maybe some immediate family get together at my parents. He wasn't one for show. I'd hate the whole idea of people being there that we know he wasn't friends with. You can't tell people not to come to someone's funeral, but you can stop them from coming after. So that's the plan is we'll do something small, and I plan to read it to them. So Sarah kept that last bit was Sarah, and she captured that really beautifully, because I had a conversation with her, because Sarah and I are really good friends, and if Danny's around as well, I'm catching up with them too, Billy and Sarah, and a few other people in the UK when I'm in London in June. Still planning to do the travel, but I'm taking him with me in spirit, because he loved to travel as well. So, but no, I definitely will be. It'll definitely be something I will definitely put something in dedication in the book for him. That'll be in the book, and I'll put a little note in there, and I'm in two minds of putting that on a piece of paper and put it in his coffin.
I was going to say,
Everything.
when it finished, because I actually did that piece that I read at my own mum's service. I actually in a soft cover frame, and I put it in with my siblings, even my sister, my brother, and I don't really talk. Wanted me to put that in the coffin, and I laid it on top of the coffin. My final words to her to take to when she's bored in heaven to have a read and say that black sheep of my family did love me in his own way. You know, maybe she's reading it right now and having a little chuckle and saying, "My brute of a son, he did have a bone in his body." So but an amazing piece, Angela, really is.
Thank you.
We were talking about collaborations, and you live 20 minutes up the road from me. We see each other once or twice a week.
Yeah.
We've never even talked about writing something together. You know that?
It's always open, Amy. It's always open.
I think we should write something, but don't take me down the dungeons and into the Greek mythology and cut my throat or anything like that.
Give you a glossary of phenomenal words and. Oh, no, I'll leave it up with because I've got to write something very soon, and I really need to do something mythology and all that. Because I'm writing a piece. Her name's waiting for me. Wordplay Muse. If you know who she is, she's an incredible. She loves it. That's her jam is mythology and strong women, and so I'm going to definitely write something very soon. So I'll get that out of the system.
I do recall the piece that you wrote with Poonam probably about a year ago. That was an amazing piece.
That's going in the book. So, but we'll do one that isn't published. So anywhere else, which is what I've been doing because I'm trying to get two for every person.
Yeah.
And wherever there's missing, I'm trying to. Angela's a joy to write with if you can overcome the fear. That's not.
Todd, the fear takes me to another level because, as I said, she's only 20 minutes up the road. So, my goodness, I am at risk.
Yeah. We've become really good friends because, I feel like we have, which has been great. So, yeah.
Angela, it really is great. I really, look forward to.
You got to meet my husband and my child.
Yeah, keeping up with you. I actually enjoyed that day meeting your son and your husband as well, and love to do it again for sure. I'm definitely the gasometer. I'll go tonight because I've got nothing on, and not often do I not have something. I have to wake up at the crack of dawn on a Sunday. I've got home at 4 a.m. and waking up at 6 o'clock and going to golf, and it's not fun.
He doesn't get better as you get older either. It's okay when I've gone, 24 hours where, I've gone to school or work.
Yeah.
Come back home, gone out again, and then come back away. That was when in my 20s, not anymore.
I was going to say, Angela, I'm not 21 anymore, you know what I mean? Like, that's many decades ago, so I need to respect my age and sort of be in bed by 10. But I seem to have missed that memo somewhere along the line. Yeah. So this next book is out about July, you said?
Yeah, so I'm thinking that every year on the same day, around the same day that I release the first one, I'll release the next one. There was a plan, but there's too many things going on at the moment for me to record voice the first book. So every time, so that then on the 12 months, I'll release it in Audible version of it and get my husband, because he's got his music studio, I can record it all. And so that it's available as well. You get to have my voice reading to you as well. But we'll see. It might just come out a little bit later because, as you know, Angela is an overachiever and likes to do too many things at one time, and then creates stress around everywhere. So I've decided just take it back a little bit, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do it at the end. and I've released all 5 books because I'm really prepared. I've got 5 books already. So.
Interesting you mentioned a plan to release the books. I kind of had like a plan, but funnily, my very first book, and it so happened, I did not plan it that way because I was at the mercy of my publishers a bit in terms of timing. And my first book came out on my father's birthday, the 11th of January, because losing him at a young age, and we shared a special bond. And my second book, it so happened it came out on my birthday, and my next book, it wouldn't surprise me if it happens to come out on my mother's birthday on the 8th of September. I've got no dates yet, but it wouldn't surprise me if that happened.
It's how it is.
Work out, yeah. Any other poetry? Do you want to get into more poetry?
Do I read one of the ones or an older one? I don't know.
This hour and 3/4 is all about showcasing you, your work.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to read a poem. It's like a bit of a summary. It's the first one in this book, which is my first book. Daylight, Darkness and Divinity's Dialogue, because of course I have to make everything. It's a book I'm writing at the moment. I'm actually writing a novel, and it's loosely based around this poem. It's sort of slightly changed. So I'm writing the prequel to that poem. And this poem is called I Dryad. And at the moment I'm writing the prequel to that. So her mother's journey. So here we go. But this is the poem that it started with. I have a story to tell. A tale of the beginning of me, one filled with wonder, mysticism. I was found near a quaint farming town, huddled between 2 outstretched trees. I was a gift upon humanity's cataclysm. Some say it was strange for me to be found on a secluded and decayed road. Some were convinced that I was an abomination, an evil sprite that would steal a child's soul, and with that it let hell on earth unfold. Alas, I was but a wee child who was much loved, had 2 amazing parents who sacrificed it all in their last breath. A spell was cast, the transference of memories and life force. And now in their stead only a shell remains, with 2 outstretched limbs. Our family, through vile actions, are now splintered. They were both tricked into an odyssey of disrepute, sent out to placate the greed of a fellow villager. Unbeknownst to them, the evil yet to unfold promised innocence for the powerful told. My parents, out of the goodness of their hearts, made haste in helping their friend in need, only to find their sacrifice would be their undoing. They fought to save my life from its darkest greed. Alone, a child cries for help to the world of light. Unknown the special powers they possess, they not human nor shifter nor demon sought after celestial and stardust showers caress. Mother Earth watched the child on bended knees and heard the mournful pleas. Gaia sent friends in the form of flora and fauna, with her language lost in time and reality. Dryad of old, without the bonds of family, sought solace amongst fireflies and butterflies in the ethereal skies. She became I, Dryad of humankind, to walk the earth, a keeper of humanity's truest words, an old soul lost in dragon's fires, phoenix ashes, and the sands of time.
Wow. I was following as you were reading here. That line, I was a gift upon humanity's catechism. You are a gift upon life, Angela. You really are, where your heart goes. But some of the other verses there, like Dryad of old, without the bonds of family, sought solace amongst fireflies and butterflies and the ethereal skies. What a verse that on its own. that on its own is such a beautiful, heartwarming verse, stanza. Um, my goodness, that is just yeah. I had read that, and that one, you know, like, and especially at a time of what you're going through
Mm.
here. Alas, I was but a wee child who was much loved. I had two amazing parents who sacrificed it all. In their last breath, a spell was cast, a transference of memories and life force. That stanza, to me, would be such a little calming to your parents to know, you know, like that their daughter wrote that when they're bearing one child.
Mm.
Because as parents, we do, but never expecting anything, but not even a thanks, right? We just do for love. But then to hear that um, from a parent, for a parent to hear that from their child in their writing, it's easy to say, "Mum, I love you," but to put it in writing. I remember when I took off travelling around Australia, it broke my mum's heart because she never knew when she'd see me again. And before I went, I'd written a poem that she put in a little frame, and she had that in a mantle, on a mantle in a lounge until the day she died. It was there. Even that one I said with her in her grave. You know, um, yeah, the words be right, and just sometimes all it takes is a stanza. We don't need a whole big lot to just really show our love
No.
and our appreciation of
And
people.
yeah, and look, I remember the day my grandmother died, and my mother and her were very close. My mother supported her in a lot of ways. She was the one that was out in the fields at 10 years old, minding the sheep. She was the shepherd. You know, she was the one helping her with all the things that had to be done. She sacrificed schooling, so she, you know, had to learn to read and later on in her life because she was there for her mum. So when her mum died, she didn't know how to write this down. So I wrote her a poem for my mum, because it was so I imagine how my mum would be feeling. And I sent it to Greece, and I said to my aunt, because my mum wasn't going to get there in time for the funeral. She got there after, but that's fine. I said, can you put this on her grave? This is for my mum.
Mm.
And my mum didn't know until her sister called her and said, "Oh, you know, I put that poem." Because I'm naughty, I forgot to say, "Don't say anything." I just, you know, couldn't do it. And because I'd written it, it was in my handwriting. I had laminated it and I sent it through, so that, you know, if it's on the grave, then it gets where it's laminated, so it's all good. Ask me if I know where that poem is, because I know I typed it. I'll put it somewhere. I made a copy somewhere. It'll turn up somewhere. But my mother just to shoot my aunt, who had gone to school, had learned how to read, had learned to do all that stuff. The older one, mum was the second child, read it to her, and she goes, "It's like I thought you'd spoken to her about it, and therefore she knew all this stuff." And she's, "No, I didn't know she'd done this." I just thought this is something I could give back to, because my mum, as much of a pain she can be, like parents, you know, siblings. I appreciated them, my parents, both of them, and I learned to accept that I am my father's daughter after the age of 25. Before that, you couldn't tell anyone that I'm my father's daughter. It was like anathema. Is it saying, no. But I am my father's daughter, and even when he tries to pull himself back, I will hug him tighter. And so this is what's happening. It's taken him a long while to have that affection with me. My mother's easy; she's just beautiful. But my father, he was like easy with the other kids, not with me.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I am my father's daughter. And so now I hold him, and I can tell he was trying to let go.
Yeah.
So, like a bowl, you know what? In something like a bowling strip, the more someone, or quicksand, the more someone moves.
There's
That's what I do.
more towards you. Yeah.
That's what I do. I'm like, can't get away from me. And now I'm as tall as him because he used to be really tall, but he's aged, and so as you age, of course, your everything shrinks. So he can't move away from me. But anyway, that's
Yeah, right.
upset evil sometimes.
As
My poor parents.
our parents can be a pain in the butt. Well, as you know, my son and I share a great relationship, and we go out for beers and things like that. And quite often they say, "Geez, you're a pain in the ass, Dad," and I say, "Hey, that's my job," you know what I mean? And we have a nice laugh about it. But we're the best of friends, you know what I mean? Like half the time, it's not me disciplining; it's more me teasing him or winding him up, really. And he goes, "Stop being a pain in the ass, Dad," because I'm just a stick. Right?
We're all stirrers. My family, we're all massive stirrers. So it took me a long time to realise that everything my siblings were doing to me was stirring me up. And it got worse when I just didn't react the way they wanted me to react. And they tried, and they just gave up. But that's
well, too disappointed with who he turned out to be, Angela, through all the adolescent years and all the wildness.
The wild. He was not this one, not the weird one in the family, because I am. But I think he was a pioneer in so many ways. Being the only sibling to be in a foreign country, they're all living in Greece. He did that. And he did it, and I have to remember he did it because of love. He moved all the way around the world because my mother moved there, and he loved her, and that's who he wanted to marry. So it can't be that bad.
Angela, well, you're a parent, and you know everything we do, rightly or wrongly, we do it for love. I'll tell you something. Keith, my apologies, mate. I don't do DMs or open mics on the show. This show is always just about the featured guests. So my apologies. I won't be looking at DMs, man. As parents, the sacrifices made. LG just said these lives remind me of inside the actors' studio sessions. Thank you, LG. One of the biggest sacrifices I remember my mother ever made, and I still today remember her. It haunts me, the wailing howl. Bit of context. So my father passed away. Then she decided, I was 12, and she decided, let's migrate here to give the kids a better chance. So in the meantime, we applied to come here. We had got approved to come out here. Tickets are bought. My grandmother, got a stroke, and she was bedridden. And we waited. Like once you get approved, you're given 12 months. Back then, you were given 12 months to get here. Otherwise, you got to go through the whole process again. And this was before when you had to send genealogies and all this sort of stuff to here. We had 2 days left. Mum waited, kept putting off the trip till the last minute in the hope there would be some conclusion either Mum would, and it didn't. So on the way to the airport, we went to visit my grandmother at the nursing home where she was pretty much conscious but quite heavily paralyzed with stroke. My mum held herself together while she said goodbye to her mum, and we came out of that room, and she held the 3 kids' hands, and the howl in my mother's, that today, 45 years later, still I can hear in my ear. That to me was the biggest sacrifice that I ever saw my mother make for us. Imagine leaving your mother on your deathbed, and then you've got your kids to worry about. I'll never forget that. It haunts me to this date.
Your grandmother would have instilled that in her to say family is important, and she would have known that for you to go to another country, for you to move to there, is because you're going to have a better life, and that sacrifices have to be made. As hard as it was, because you would have held that until your mother would have held that onto that. But yeah, like oh darling, it's going to be it's an emotional. Whew.
It really was. Yeah. Anyway.
No. I'm so glad you shared that with me, and you shared it with all of us. It's a really personal thing, and that that in itself, your poetry is reflective of that, the emotion and the depth of that vulnerability that you like. You said yours, bro, toughy, all this stuff. But what an incredible human being you are, that you are that strong that you can show your vulnerability. I think that's a testament. And there you go. Your grandmother would have been there all the way with her. Exactly, Betty.
Yeah, you're right. Strength comes in so many different ways, right? Easy to be the bravado to go and smack somebody in the head. That's the easy part. But that emotional strength is the challenging part, right? Yeah. Yeah. What's next?
Hang on 1 second. I'm on the line.
You want a coffee?
No, I'm fine. Thank you, Dulce.
Steve, sorry to hear. Steve said his mother passed away last month.
Sorry, I couldn't mute myself because when the words got underneath the mic button, Chris was being lovely and was asking if I wanted coffee. But I've made I've had a coffee. I'm fine. Oh, Steve, my condolences. No matter how old you are, you'll always be that little boy, that little child, and your mother will always be that person who looks after you. And so it's hard. What did you want to say?
Before, now, I don't normally do this on any of the shows. I don't do DMs. But Keith has sent a piece that he wrote dedicated to you. So I'm going to actually read it as a gift to you, Angela. And it's actually titled Ode to Angela. Her voice of an angel, a poem through and through. Imagery so surreal. What are my ears supposed to do? Every word sends a shudder, waking every nerve. Each line that she utters, her tone is but a curse. Verbal paradise splashes my heart. Alliteration orally set apart from the rest without reason. Roam romances, rhyming feelings. Feel the love, feel the charm. On the beach, reading psalms, reading palms. Oh, that voice, it keeps me calm. That's from Keith to you, and it's titled Ode to Angela.
Thank you.
Again, that's how much you're loved and respected within the community, Angela. Thank you, Keith. Thank you for sending that. As I said,
I just find that surreal sometimes when people write things for me. There was I love it. Thank you, Keith. I really appreciate it. It's just like, you have to be humble, because all you want to do is read poetry and share that love of poetry with others. And sometimes you just make an impression on someone you don't realise you've made an impression on. And it's really nice. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not doing it just for that. Do you know what I mean? But that's a bonus to it. You know, and I hope in effect that I don't destroy people's poetry. You know.
Looking at the comments, there is so much love in this in the audience. I say this each week to everybody in the audience. You know, your participation in your comments and all really help the featured guests to really give so much more of themselves, and in those conversations, then it entices me to show more me as well. So thank you. Without you, the show would not be what it is. I just facilitate this and pick my featured guests that have a powerful message to say and who've got a message that I want to showcase on a global platform. But the quality of the show is a large part of your comments and your commentary. I wish the screen was big enough that I could have you all on the screen to really share your words verbally. It really is a reflection, Angela. All the commentary and the warmth in the comments is absolutely amazing. And it really, again, reflects you and the person you are.
Sorry, my younger sister was trying to call me. That's why I went. And I even put the do not disturb on. So I've just sent her a message to say I'm on live. Yeah, my older sister's going, huh? What are you talking about? Sorry. I think she's trying to contact me about some stuff, but my apologies. Yeah.
I can imagine there'd be, yeah.
I'm arranging the photo for him. One of my dearest friends works for Fiji Xerox, and we're trying to see whether she can. She's really good with Photoshop. Whether she can put something together. Yeah. So that's, I think, my sister's the one that's got the actual what do you call it? Not message her. She's the one that's got the actual image. So we don't want to use the photo because the photos granulate. What do they say?
I'm just cracking, Steve. Is it true that if Rainier doesn't ask the right questions, he will end up in the dungeon? You are so close to that truth, Steve. It's not.
No, actually, it's been. Look, there's only one. There's only room for one, maybe two, and it's already taken.
I
might build an extension and include you in it, Steve, because you've been facetious.
Steve, and my life is at risk because Angela only lives 20 minutes up the road from me. So yes, that dungeon looks very close to me. So I've got to keep the right questions happening.
Yeah.
Now, sorry, I interrupted. You were going to read a piece, and I.
No, that's all right. No, I'm going to read another one from the collab. So I'm just sort of responding while I'm doing that. Here we go. Collab. All right. What page? Choose a page. Give me a page number.
48.
Dear goodness gracious. All right. 48. Hang on, let me just do it this way. It's easier. Because I've got Canva. I'm trying to...
Miss said, if I could dedicate the entire thesaurus to Angela Sam, a woman of 100 million words. There you go.
That's why I include glossaries in my poetry books. Not a lot of people do that because at least you're not having to put it down and check another book. You can just go through the actual book, and it's in alphabetical order. So, all right. So this is a collaboration. Which, of course, with my darling Mia. This is called Shatter the Dead Solution. Here we go. True. Eileen, you make me laugh. All right, here we go. Whisper me chaste cries for moral crimes. Have pressure tapped bleeds, secrets only indentured from trauma, marinated scars within demon seeds. Light illuminates the sores and darkness envelopes the broken. Somnambulism, each scene for twisted synaptic citrix has left this wound awoken. Tap, tap, tapping on rounded, wounded soul. Vacancy concaves irrational thoughts into blurred lines and white noise. I have courted and sold, scratching the unhealed area till brokenness erupts. Have I freed what's left? Have I awoken the dead? Tap, tap, to tender, tapped, crumbling souls, take back the strenatarian tones I have scattered, opened, and scratched with forsaken. I have scattered open and scratched with forsaken bleached bones. I have become the noxious and the devoured corrupted souls. Have these wounds been awoken or the avulsed mummified? Have these lives been held in stasis or objectified? Bones clocking in Elysian fields, graves and lives hung in limbo dormitories. Are we in purgatory or are we martyred? Rubble sits heavy on my pericardium. Do I open myself up to freedom, or have I become too cynical to believe in such falsehoods told? I lay inside my equilibrium and dream that you are besieged. That must be why I'm forgotten. Just an eerie story in a novel, never to be held or fingered again.
Some amazing lines through there, you know. When we're hurting inside, yeah, we scratch away at that, you know, that inner self, right? A physical wound, you can go and treat it, but that inner soul, you can't get your hands in there to. The only way to heal, to scratch that sore, that pain is through the mind, right? Through the self.
Mm-hmm.
That's so. What inspired that one? Was it?
It was just, you know what? It's a lot like the things I do with Danny. I'll throw something like a paragraph. She'll throw it's like half of these are conversations, so it's just we touch it up a little bit. But they're conversations. Like we'll start off with some existential conversation, Mira and I, and it just. Do you want to do something? Yeah, sure. I've got something. You know, let's do it. So and I love it. I love it when I throw. You know, you can either do collaborations where it's one chunk and then one chunk. But with hers, sometimes you just like with others, you just feel like, in particular Todd, we like to sort of just interweave. Like I would have done a whole chunk and then, oh, okay, that looks like a really good ending, but let's do it. So you put a paragraph here, put a paragraph in between each of the ones. And to me, it's almost it's like, what's the word? I'm lost for words. It is natural, like it's to do that, to do the in between. It just depends on But the one I've got with Danny, the first one, the Wicked Basket, was a conversation, and it just turned into this poem. And I said, "Do you want to publish it?" Yeah, sure, let's do it. Okay. And at the time, I didn't know who it was. I didn't know who it was, and then at the end of it was like, I just feel bad. I need to tell you who I am. I said, no. Do you think you know who I am? I think you're either this person, this person, and he was one of them. And so, Anyway.
To me, I particularly love collaborations. As to when I read it, I can't say who wrote what. And like in that piece, I could not differentiate the lines you wrote and the lines that Mia might have written or anybody else.
She loves writing medical, and Todd's the same. I love writing and using medical terms. And I thought, well, I did my therapy for years, and I, do still, practice it, but I don't do, like, it's not my first job.
Yeah.
And therefore, this is a way I can actually spend thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I might as well put it
Yeah.
in use by putting in my writing, and I love it. I love that she loves the word pericardium. I love it too. And so, so it's this whole scientific word using in poetry. I think there's something about it.
But even that piece I recall that you wrote with Poonam quite a while back, it was you really couldn't say who wrote which lines, other than on the slides where unless you called it out, you couldn't say, which is really, to me, that's a marker for. I enjoy that sort of collaboration. It shows the adaptability of both writers, because we all have our unique little styles. We have our our punctuations, we have our long or short lines, we have our favorite words we use that we reference, but being able to adapt yourself to somebody else's writing, and both writers adapting, that's
I love
phenomenal.
I think that's something really. There's magic there when you do that. For instance, Steve's got his quirk. He's got a really great sense of humor. I love that about him. And I don't know, twisted sense of mind, and we wrote this. It's really creepy. It is a really creepy poem, but we were sitting there giggling and laughing. It was for Halloween, and so. And that's the kind of thing. It's like I was giggling and laughing. I go, oh, you write this, and I went, oh, let me see if I can beat this creepiness. And I wrote something, and it was like, who can beat what creepy? The creepy. Who can be creepier than the other? I think we're on par, both Steve and I. And I'm hoping we can catch up when I'm in London in June.
In Amsterdam?
Belgium.
Yeah, that's right, Belgium. Yeah.
But he goes to London every so often, so it may not happen, but I always say to people, it might not happen now, but if I really want to meet you, I'll make it happen. I've got to go to Lathia, be good. Always, Steve.
Yeah, he's just saying adaptability 100%. Angela and I made one, and I'm not complex. I was nervous.
I was going to send her one and just see, like a really complex one, and to see how she was like it. But I'm not that much of a bitch. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be nasty. And you know what? I stripped it back, but I didn't just because there was. I don't use large words because I want to. Oh, look me, blah blah blah. That's just how I think. It is just how I am. I think like that. There's a different personality. There's different parts of me, different, already booked.
There you go.
Yeah. So but I think with poetry, you can, it's not the words, it's the emotion and the intent in the verses that you put together. Sometimes you can feel when poetry is forced. And I didn't want that. I didn't want to force. I don't like to force anything. It has to come out when and I'm not one of those ones. I can't do speed. Sometimes, hang on. Let me finish that sentence. I can't speed right in the sense that, and that's why I used to love doing Mosaic Mondays, because it forced me to do that. But I've slowed back down because I couldn't go because it's my Tuesday and I'm in the office and I can't. I wish I could just go book a room and disappear for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
It's not being part of Mosaic Monday. I can't. But I've realised I might just go back and watch it and just do it. Just force myself, do it on my own terms, my own time, put the stop clock and do it.
LG, the difference between can and cannot do something is just another Guinness, all right? Just remember that. Or
but her writing is, you can feel exactly what she's trying to, outlay, and that's the thing.
What I like in LG's work, she keeps very short lines, but they're very potent, and I love her pieces that she writes either about parents or about children or that
Mm.
parent-child
Oh,
relationship. Always,
yeah, we wrote one together about dad
yeah.
and daughter relationships because, you know, even though ours is very different, there is that, you know, that strained. That's the new one that we wrote together.
Isn't it funny how different things that challenges for me,
Mm,
believe it or not, because I was brought up under the old British empirical system, you know, for me to write 3, 4 word little short lines like LG does is a challenge because as you can see in most of my work, the lines are quite
mm,
long.
mm,
For me to write those 3 words that have with an impact is a challenge, whereas others
mm.
find to write lengthy statements like me is a challenge. Each of us, we got our different styles, and that's what I say. Like, for example, can you imagine me and LG writing a collab and trying to make it look seamless, where she writes 1, 2, 3 word lines, and I'm writing sort of 10 bloody word lines or dozen word
Mm.
lines, trying to fit one line generally, trying to make it seamless. What a challenge that would be, and that's where I really admire when different people can write and together and make it look seamless. You know, LG's style of writing and mine are just two extremes the way we construct our lines. Now, if I can bring myself to write, get my message in 3 words, you know,
If
yeah,
only, if only, you know, you and I, it's just how we are, and we're very, you know,
yeah,
some people can be very succinct and concise, and they're just, it's like trying to write form. I am not a form writer. You like your haikus. I've done a couple of haikus. There's a poem that I've talked to you about that I've done a haiku for, almost like a high bun, because you do a haiku, then a normal poem, and then another haiku sort of thing. And I can't seem to find it. It is killing me because I really want to do it on an open mic because it is, you know, it's a whole Japanese, and it has a whole Japanese feel about it. There's like honor and suicide and all that, you know, how they are and how, but in this is more about cutting ties more than actually doing the deed. But one day the universe will allow me to find it, and I'll. But otherwise, I've even got a spreadsheet. Someone sent me a spreadsheet. Here, you can do a Sistina with this, or you can do and I've never used it.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
can't do it. I just have to. Nice to see you, William. Thank you for being here.
Thank you,
I
William.
just need to do my own thing. I can't, you know. And Brandy's actually said to me, "Ange, you don't realise you're doing some form. Like the way you write is very
Mm.
form-like, and it has that. It's almost that it's not in that context. It's not written in that way. But it has that Shakespearean feeling about it.
Yeah,
And I think, well, biggest influence, you know, in my life. My writing is Shakespeare. My helpless, in my writing, not in my, I mean, in my writing, my helpless romantic. And so that's, you know, Jane Austen. But and I love mythology, so that's a lot of that stuff. And then I use the science stuff as well. But actually, you could do anything, but honestly, we all have our own flow, inspiration. That's where. Oh, it's true.
yeah,
It's true.
yeah.
We have to be unique. We can't be carbon copies. Like I see a lot of that, where I say, "Oh, is that?" No, it's not, because I think it's someone else, and then I see it's not that person. You can. I guess copying is almost like a form of flattery, but I don't mean copying words. I mean the style.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What's going on? Where? Oh, sorry. Who's our magic happens and the collaborations are beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. That's true.
So true. All
Mm,
right, just over half an hour, so
yeah.
let's get some poetry out.
Poetry. Okay. All right. So I'll
Okay,
take another one
those
from here.
words to
And look at, like I said to people, look, there's a glossary in the back here. It's glossy too. It depends on where you get it from. If you get from what's his name? No, my mind is more. Sorry. Please excuse me, people. All right. Talk about mythology. I'm going to read, if I can see, because it's a bit dark here. It looks bright because the door's open, but 58, page 58. It's called Fate's Allotted Time Expired. I believe in reincarnation. That's my belief. I'm a very spiritual being. I was born in a Greek Orthodox family, but I take a little bit of theology connoisseur in the sense that I love religion in its purest forms, and so this has a bit of that. So here we go. Tonight is my last night on earth. My prayers were unanswered. The doctor gave me less than 3 months to live. This body is slowly decaying, my answer to cancer. My chauffeuring days are almost over, and I step into my car for the last time. Soon I will clock out from work and vigorously live my life. It will be my end, my choice. It is weird that I'm excited and my spirit is soaring high. I greet my last client and chills run down my spine. Our destination is the underworld pass. So uncanny that this will be my last ride. My client says firstly, I need to collect my family if you don't mind. I start to cough and cover my mouth with a handkerchief, and I see crimson splatter, and the pain spreads through my chest. Thanatos introduces himself. I begin to feel better as I drive to the underworld pass, where the streets are lined with death. Thanatos signals for me to stop here. There was not a creature in sight. The door opens, 12 other passengers climb in. First, the beauty with a bright light of clarity and a dazzling smile. This is Nix, my mother. Then Hypnos climbs in with dreamlike eyes. Thanatos instructs me to keep my eyes ahead for my own good. Hypnos has a knack to entice and mesmerize. Tonight, the fate's allotted time expires. Then Thanatos laid his hand on my shoulder. Father, it is time for you to let go of your human shell. I turn to Thanatos, who, encased with darkness and strength, the beauty I have longed for, smiles and opens the gates to the inferno and our home, sweet home, hell.
Wow, from where that started to where that ended up, what a trip.
Yeah. So a lot of people go, well, what? That particular one was like, why? And why did you write that? Why? Again, like I said, I love my mythology, and so Thanatos is Greek word for death. Hypnos is sleep, or as we like to call, Hypnos is sleep. My mind's just gone.
Yeah.
What is the god of sleep again? That's Greek god of sleep. Let me just say, so everyone has it's a Hypnos, but it's also called something else. Anyway, and so it was just realizing that they were all cursed, and they were cursed to live human existences, and he'd been lost for such a long time that, you know, this was his family finding him and taking him home. And it's that whole idea that we shouldn't be afraid of death.
Yeah.
It comes for all of us, and some sooner than others. And that was the whole idea of it. I think it was a time where I was, because you get to an age, we get to an age, you go, oh, close to death, you know, and you can fear it or you can embrace it. Not that you're going to do something crazy just to get there quicker, but you know that's going to happen. So while you're here, and that's my thing. It's why I do so many things. People go, why do you fill up your time? I fill up my time because I don't want to regret. I don't want to close my eyes and regret things that I haven't done. I want to enjoy every moment with my eyes wide open. And that's a really good thing. I really want to push out to everyone. Don't say what if regrets. Do it. As long as it doesn't hurt anyone else, you know what I mean? And it's something for you.
That's extremely wise advice, Angela. I'll always live my life like today is my last day. I never death. Through that, I've foolishly walked into some crazy situations because I never feared. But to me, if somebody took my life, they've set me free, right? And if you lose that fear, is where you can live life to the fullest. Where a body harbour fears or hesitations. What if I fail? What if I come unstuck? What if this? While you have all those barriers, you fail to walk through the doors of experience in your mind, and it's all in your.
Yeah, like I was saying, it's at the same time you sort of don't want to do. I'm practical. Like I'm not going to put myself in positions where I'm going to. I think that's what I don't do. But then I've looked back and I've gone, Angela, that probably wasn't something you should have done.
Common sense must prevail, obviously, if you go back themselves, right? Like, you don't think, oh, I don't care, I'm going to jump off this cliff and hope I don't hit those rocks. Common sense got to prevail, right? You can't let those fears of failure, those fears of coming unstuck, stand in the way of taking that step. There's a big difference, you know. But doesn't mean that you've got to be reckless and foolish. Of course, it's going to hop on Plenty Road and scream on a motorbike at 200 k's an hour. Yeah, there's a damn good chance I'm going to come unstuck. That's I've thrown common sense to the road, right?
I saw some crazy things at 4:30 in the morning that I've never seen because normally I'm generally sleeping. Like, you know, I'm driving 4:30 in the morning and there's a street which is so wide and there's cars parked. So you need to sort of poke, even though it says stop or give way, whatever, you stop. Then you have to poke out a little bit because you can't see. And thankfully I was doing that. I'm not a give way, oh, no cars, no lights, off I go. I would have hit this guy.
Yeah.
He was jogging on the road at 4:30 in the morning wearing black. And I'm like, there's footpaths. Why are you not using it? But, you know, it's just common. It's a thing because roads are flatter and there's less likely going to hurt your joints because that's how joints get hurt. Because I know because of the work that I've done and I've learned, it's a straighter surface. So they're less likely to create injury. And you don't expect someone to be driving at 4:30 in the morning through the back streets. But the guy's just put his hand in like, stop. I'm like, maybe I'm not in the wrong. You are.
Yeah. Yeah. Next time we catch up, I'll remind me to tell you a story about this friend of mine who came around a corner at 2:30 in the morning, and there was a kid on a skateboard at 2:30 in the morning as he come around a corner and he ended up across his windscreen. I'll talk to you about that in person.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The coroner found my friend not to blame, but I saw this guy lock himself in a room for 2 weeks, didn't even eat. His conscience was eaten because all he had was this kid across his windscreen, right?
Correct.
If it was
exactly
a laminated windscreen, the kid would have been in his lap, right? You come around the corner at 2:30 in the morning. But anyway, that's another. Let's
I'll remember to ask you.
Yeah. Let's. It was in Glenroy, just down Box Forest Road.
Oh, how am I not? I'm not surprised. All right, I'll do another. You choose another page, and I'll do another collab if you want me to read another poem. Pick a page number.
57.
You didn't go too far. Hope it's not.
Oh, just a number came to my head.
57. Oh, it's empty. All right, so.
Empty. Oh.
I'm gonna read. This is so I write. This is the only one that I've got 3 parts with two. But this is the first part. And it was such an amazing time to write. I don't know why. We just started writing together. It was Keneal Black,
yes,
and the beautiful S.Z. Putnam. And we wrote 3 parts, and it was Beauty in the Beast.
I love Keneal.
Not Beauty and the Beast, Beauty in the Beast. All right. So, and this is part one. And it was, we're having so much time writing these. You know, it's like, you know, mwahaha, la 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 la. That's what it's like. You know, 4 lines, 4 lines, 4 lines, 4 lines. But it's not a long piece. But in the end, we sort of broke it up in 3 pieces. And see, this first part. Misprinted malice claws at the satin shirt of his resolve. Silken fabrics hide her flaws and a gorgeous figure basking in deceptive calm. In his mirror, in the light, in the dark, closet keeper of her blackened heart, she strove to collect knowledge of the dark arts, the beautiful facade reflected amidst fanged doubts, contoured mind hidden behind dulled eyes. Obsession undermines youthful demise. A towering outline encompasses his glowing dreams, a second guessed by disfigured memories. Blemished recall hinders his perception, his misstep leads to dangerous resurrection. Tophet covenants her conceit to praise beauty wrapped in a loathsome gaze. Her beast cloaks into midnight's inclination, strides in 6-inch heels upon a road of damnation. A heavy tome shelves deeds of abhorrent order. What golden soul dead sacrificed so legion adored her. The tarot, a fool, tightens the noose on the hanging man. She's dealt her cards and unleashed an iniquitous plan. In her valise she sustains lacerations from Pandora's curses, while the beast begins its evanescent corridor of murders in a sanctioned endeavour from halls of perdition, rotting flesh and fetid aroma before a haunted premonition. A silence imbibed brings drunken tempers, swirling in urban curls of rage, flawless features the daggered teachers rips timid hearts in twain. Pompous landscapes of jealousy sweep before the castle of mistrust. Brooms of envy dance across glided halls. Furnished when secrets erupt, her mind is an asylum from wicked thoughts, where crosses are born in conspired noughts. His heart beats with pessimistic deficiency, stripped down in his own insufficiency. She chokes down the bitter concoction of her formulation, throat screaming for inoculation. But which of these could find reprieve? Trapped in a forlorn cage, or better yet, threats yet to be kept, or a cloak of misplaced hate, beauty or beast, which of them becomes a meal when both are ready to feast?
Those ending lines, oh, it's that was again, you know, like 3 people writing there. That was again so seamless.
Mm.
No,
And it was so much fun. We just like bang, bang, bang. It was like we're in this chat, and all 3 of us were like, and then we quickly edited as we were going along. And so it's almost like it's like a duel, you know,
yeah.
between you know, him and her. You know, it's different to the story where they both betrayed each other,
Yeah.
and they're trying to be nice to each other. And it was clever. It was really clever. He's going to kill, you know, it's almost like he's going to die. And it's like, and you know, it was really great because each of us, when we write, we're twisting it to a different.
Yeah. Who was the third person in that piece?
So it was myself, it was Keneal Black,
Yes.
and S.Z. Putnam.
Right.
Beautiful Susan.
I'm not familiar with the third poet, but Keneal.
He's fantastic.
Keneal's actually amazed me. Funnily, because Keneal's like you know, does so much on the show with Mosaic Mondays and the Prompt Days and so forth. I never really was exposed to a lot of Keneal's work, and then when he featured on this show, oh man, that man blew me away. He's that silent achiever, the quiet achiever.
Understated. He's one of those ones that doesn't. He's really, and like a lot of people, you know, talk about selfless, or selfful, because he, you know, is incredible human, a dad or a husband, and he just, everything's with love. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? He's just gusto. What you see is what you
yeah,
get. It isn't just an act. He's just a beautiful. He feels. He's very
yeah.
empathetic. And I can't say enough great things about him or Ramon. Both of them are really incredible
Yeah.
human beings. So, and that's what buoyed me, and what I wanted to always be part of that mosaic one day. They would always,
No,
it was fun. It was a vibe, and still, I'm sure it still is a vibe.
he really,
It's not just a show.
he really is an amazing soul, and his writing is absolutely amazing. He's a
Beautiful.
writer.
Mm.
It's I was mind blown when I had him on the show. Um, that piece itself, like it was a whole journey. You get what I love about your work, or even these collabs, Angela. They just absorb you. I forget where I am,
Mm.
and then when it finishes, you go, "Wow, the movie's finished." You know what I mean? Like, wake up. It just draws me deep into
Mm.
other realms, other eras, other times, um, other landscapes. Which is a compliment to the style of writing,
Mm.
and to be able to do that in collaboratively with one or two other people. That's even another level.
I find, a lot of people find him really hard. I love it. I love, yeah, he definitely is an underrated
Yeah,
writer.
yeah,
Um,
I couldn't agree more.
yeah, I love collabs because I get to know the people, not just the poetry, the people.
Mm,
And that's just how I am. I love getting to meet new people, discovering what their love of poetry is, and and I can genuinely say that I have friends. They're not just people. Oh, people from Instagram. I can genuinely say that there are people that I've met on Instagram as a tool, as a vehicle, and I can consider wholeheartedly, hand on my heart, they're friends. Because it was a lot of things. A lot of it was, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's only social media. There's no reality." Yes, there are certain types of social media there is
yeah,
where it's not a reality, and not every person on here, can I say, is with good intentions.
true.
Uh,
Sadly,
even you have to dig deep. So yeah.
the yeah, it might seem surreal, but I know, like, well, meeting you each week, Angela, and after so many years of meeting Zooks in person, Zook stayed here with me
Mm,
for about, and then meeting Tanika and all in my last trip to the US. They're very real people. I mean, I spent the day with Tanika and LaBelle. We had lunch, and then Tanika and LaBelle had to go back to work, and Tanika didn't have to work that day, and she took me
mm,
down to the garden. And we sat there just walking and talking and just getting to know each other's lives. We come from very different worlds, and getting to know them as a person, which now, like, gives me even another level of understanding of Tanika's writing. She's a beautiful soul and a beautiful writer, and she talked about her dance and her theatre. She's just got
mm,
in so many of the other parts of the arts. And my
mm,
lady, but meeting her and spending that day with her was, I'll never forget that. It was great.
mm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because not everyone, sort of tells you, "Oh, I'm an open book." I don't like. I do that bit on purpose because if you don't like me, I want you to know from now and
Now,
get out of my life.
now here's a bloke that I want to meet who's popped into the room, Ragged. I've got to meet this man in person. I love his work, and now
I
what
have
he's doing
plans.
with his music is just amazing.
I know. I've planned to go to Texas because Sky, she's adamant she's moving to Texas, and I know it's a huge state, but yeah, we'll definitely
When
have
I used
fun.
to do the open mics, I used to love sitting there. Quite often, it ended up Ragged, myself, and
Mm,
Stephanie. We did yakking away for most of the show, and I enjoyed those chats with Ragged, and yeah.
And what a voice! It's got a presence about him.
Yes.
I don't know whether it's the military life or what it was, but he's just, there's a calmness.
Yeah. No, lovely soul. I really got it. That's one man I'd love to meet in person, for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a list, and he's definitely on there. And actually, quite a few people that are in this room are definitely on that list. So beware, I'm coming for you. All right. So, do you want me to read another poem?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So, again, mythology. And this is the epigraph. So, the beginning of this book, which is the three dots. It's called In the Beginning of Free. I love it. I love it because there's a cheekiness about it. It's about women's strength, feminine strength. But it also sort of plays around with my computer keeps on, that's why the light changes. It plays around about, don't believe what someone tries to say, look into it. Here we go. In the beginning of freedom, she sought solace in her empty shell, her heart a capsule of butterflies. While enjoying life, she caught Eros's desires. Eros was a vacuous heartbreak Lothario, caught on a whimper and transfixed on freedom. He burned for her. He needed her, while he drank the sanguine of a lover's wine. Alas, freedom knew too well of Eros. She would rather be empty and whole than full of broken promises and pain. High above in the heavenly sky, she was safe. Eros was obsessed with the capture of freedom. He asked Mythos to help in the treachery. He was happy to corrupt the sanctity of love. Eros was a fool to believe that freedom would subjugate. The fine line between love and hate was drawn between the brothers Eros and Mythos. But freedom learnt to never cross that line. Instead, floats above in the peace of the heavenly sky. And it's that whole concept that, freedom is not bought. Freedom should be allowed. It should be a separate thing, and it's a right that should be given to all, not for one individual, not for love, not for hate, for all.
Yeah. That piece in particular, although it was written on, as said, founded on mythology, it's very relatable, right? Very relatable to issues we face in modern day life, right? Today. It doesn't matter from which part of the continent, country, or the globe you come from, or what sort of cultural background you come. There's very real, tangible messages in there that are so easily could happen to us today. Could be dealing with now. We've probably got time for a closing piece, and Ragged is up to you. Which one do you want to close with? The reason I'm now clipping the show to hour and 50 minutes, there's method in my madness, because I download the archive for the YouTube posts and then the Spotify podcast and so forth. Anything above 1 hour 55 minutes, it seems to lose the audio. Then I've got to do a screen recording, and it takes then it doesn't fit. After Instagram started doing 4K and 8K recordings, the can't store enough. I remember doing a show with Robert and all that went for like 2 hours 40 minutes. I'd go 4 hours at the Fiji if I could, but then I've literally got to record the screen with, then you get all the, you know, nuances. You don't get a nice clean video. But Ragged was saying before about your dedication to Bunny dedication.
Oh,
I
God.
don't know if he said read your Bunny dedication earlier or to read
No,
it now.
I think maybe it was it him or was it the one that God, I'm just trying to remember whether that Danny read his.
Oh, okay, right, possibly so. Anyway, we've been gone an hour and 40 minutes, so we've probably got time for a quick closing and our goodbyes. And but before I forget, don't forget to message me the details of where Chris is playing tonight, because the gasometer and the time and etc. And I'll be there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you want me to read one more or not?
Yeah, read one more. Yeah. Definitely.
All right. So I'll end it with a collab. Pick a page. Pick a higher page.
75.
Yeah. Let's go. I've got it. It's just 75. What are you saying?
This is in your book, or?
Yeah. And so, you know, we're talking, is LG still here? But this is the new one that hasn't been published between myself and the Looking Glass, the incredible Looking Glass poet, and that is LG. So, and this is a really heavy one. So it's called an empty garden. It's called. What do I do with the unplanted seeds? My dear, you held them deep, the discarded pots that are filled with rich soil that I was left to make fertile, the place where potential life and memories can be built, imagined growth and strength and grew weeds. The space you threw me into was not a home, but hollowness to feel, to need, to want, to hunger, and I, like a lioness, was restless, seeking, searching, needing, besmirching. I would never be a victim. You were the blueprint of how a girl should be treated by a man. And then I took strength from the man, and it was okay to hurt because that equaled love, and I bared witness. So I would protect myself from the other side, to try to hold on and do what I can. So I have learned after many years of stumbling and making decisions on my own to fashion a way to be fierce and cold and rise above, of letting go of your faults because they are not mine to fix, but they became my burden, my survival kit. And although they are yours to repent, to mend, to come to terms, you never did so. I persist to answer those trespasses in the afterlife. I will not carry your burden. Take your beast, for I made it my own. I called it home. I was a beast in your absence made of me, but I fought it dead eventually. It's now just a regret of time. The cycle stops here. My soul is mine.
That was awesome. The very first line, what do I do with the unplanted seeds? You know, and later on there was a line that other people's burdens, they're not mine to fix. And that's a hard lesson sometimes, because especially if you're an empath, sometimes we take it upon ourselves to fix. And differentiating between being there to help and support somebody, as opposed to taking their crosses and walking through the fire for them, are two different things. And you cannot help people that way, because you cannot walk you cannot see through their eyes for 1 second, or walk in their feet for 1 second, you know. So, and that was a hard lesson that I had to learn that fine line between being there and supporting somebody all the way, as opposed to picking up their cross and they go about their lives and you're walking through the cross. That just cannot happen.
It's not our cross to bear. We shouldn't be carrying someone else's. But you know, as a child, what you want to do is have someone be happy. and particularly if it's a parent, is to be happy, and you think you're the one that has to fix it. In fact, it's the other way around. It's a parent that should be trying to care and guide and do this. And sometimes it's the other way around. It just happens that the child feels like the personas of and relationship is swaps, and so that's when it becomes that's when it's not what's the word I'm trying to use? It's not healthy.
No, definitely. And the thing is not healthy for you, and it's also helping the background of health.
Yeah. And that's what it comes down to. You know, sometimes trying to help someone, you're not doing right by them, especially when the pattern's repeated. Definitely not.
Angela, thank you for being on the show. It's been an immense pleasure, and as I said, I really admire your commitment and your strength to come and spend just shy of a couple of hours here, given what you're going through right now with your personal loss. And Dazen, you've been here right through the show. Tom, LG, Ragged, Todd, Danny, thank you very much. Arlene, my goodness, the butterfly me, the names just go on. There's been some amazing people. William was here before, in here right through the show. Your comments are invaluable. They really are in helping the conversations and helping to bring out more of our featured guests, for them to show up more of themselves. Your comments, your warmness, your encouragement really plays a long part. I just provide a platform, right, and select the guests, but to the conversations that evolved today, a lot resulted from your comments and so forth. So I really value your contributions in the audience. And Angela, as you know, as I did the last time when you were on the show, this is not just the second time, it's not the last time, right? When your new book comes out, we'll do it again. And also when I create the YouTube videos and the podcast, I will share the links with you, so you can use them any which way you can. Don't forget the 30th of April, Slammers, that's the second Slammer event.
In my diary. It's in my diary, Giles. It's in my diary.
And
I'm telling my husband. And book anything. Yeah.
That's it. And next Wednesday, all going well, we'll go to Chaotic Musings at the Creatures of Habit Bar. And it's been an absolute pleasure, Angela. I love the
always.
And we meet pretty much every week, and we're normally talking on top of each other, and I still enjoy your conversation today. You know, what the sides of you that came out, your poetry, second to none. It's always a pleasure to hear your work. And it so happened to be World Poetry Day as well. So what a perfect day to do this. I thought that didn't cross my mind. I'm going to
thank you. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for doing these shows, and thank you for having me here. It was an absolute pleasure. I needed this a lot. And thank you, everyone, for your kind words and beautiful words in the chat. I wish we could, once upon a time you could save that. I wish you could do that, because I know there's some bunheads and you don't want to have their comments, but these ones in this live were brilliant. And you see the genuine support. You can show people that have never done it before the genuine support that we have here. Community is community. Anyway.
Next, in 2 weeks' time, the next show is actually going to be featuring Yaru, who you met at the mic. So, that's in a couple of weeks. He's been here as well, supporting you as well, so.
Thank you, Giles.
It's been amazing having you on, Angela. Thank you very much. And thank you again to the audience. And Angela, remember, I'm just a call away. I'm only 20 minutes away. If there's anything, if I can be of help, just holler out, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Even
Don't worry.
if
I'll
you need a year,
let you
yeah.
know.
If they need a year for somebody, I'm always there, and I look forward to catching up. Are you going tonight, or you won't be given everything going on?
No.
No.
So I just don't want my parents having dinner and being on their own.
Yeah.
So the plan is that I'll take Eric with me
Yeah.
to spend some time with them. Because I think they need that. They need to be reminded they've got other children and grandchildren who need them here, because we don't want to lose them either.
Of
So
course. Of course.
yeah.
So
Mm.
ping me the details, and I'll catch up to Chris. Go and see him play today.
We'll do that. I'll
Thanks
text you.
a lot. Thank you, everybody. Stay blessed. Stay safe. If I feel energetic a bit later after I post this, who knows? I might even do a pop-up open mic, folks, because Ragged, seeing you and all reminded me of the good old days we used to have a chat. Let me see how energetic I feel. I might even do a stand-up an open mic, even if it's just for a bit. Stay tuned. Stay blessed.
Thank you.